Welcome to the latest edition of Northern Engineers Power Talks. This afternoon, I am delighted to speak to Natalie Desty, who is Director of STEM Returners, a fantastic organisation that helps STEM professionals return to the workplace. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Can I start by asking you a little bit about what STEM Returners does and your role there, please?
Yeah, of course. So I started STEM Returners back in 2017, and we return people after a career break. So essentially, anyone struggling through those standard recruitment channels we work with and support to basically put directly into the employer. So returners have a lot of barriers when they're trying to return, and we're attempting to remove those. So we work with everyone struggling through standard recruitment channels. Could be your neurodivergent graduate right through to a senior director who's taken a mental health career break.
Okay, brilliant. And can you just tell me a little bit about your role there, please?
Yeah, so I started this, so I was the founder back in 2017. It actually came out of an industry working group. So my role really is, well, I kind of do a bit of everything as a founder, run programs, I speak to returners, but obviously I'm trying to find companies to provide host opportunities for our returners is the main thing.
And what sort of opportunities do you look for?
Really broad, actually. So really anyone who's had a STEM background and is looking to return. So could be anything from kind of business support roles in HR and procurement, obviously engineering, but also project engineers and planning. We tend to get asked for engineers most of the time, and I think that's largely because that's what industry is struggling to recruit, and also isn't very diverse.
Okay, and what's the sort of average person like who comes to you? What's their background?
Well, the number one reason to take a career break is either maternity or elder care. So I'd say your usual returner is probably a mid-career female engineer, maybe a mechanical engineer or structural engineer who has taken a break due to childcare or elder care responsibilities.
Okay. And can you just tell us about some of the success stories you've had come through STEM returners?
Yeah, of course. So we've worked with lots of different returners now. We've just returned, I think, our 592nd returner. And genuinely, for all of them, it's been life-changing because these people have really struggled to return through those standard channels, applied for often hundreds of vacancies, rarely even receive feedback. But one that really sticks out to me is we were working with a nuclear physicist, actually, who'd had a 5-year career break due to domestic abuse. And she was actually living in a women's refuge when she applied to a program with one of our host companies. This was about 5 years ago. So she returned as a nuclear engineer. She got promoted a couple of times, and she contacted us about 6 months ago to say that she just bought her first property, and she wanted us to know because if she hadn't have had that opportunity 5 years ago with that host company, she'd never have returned to her career and bought a house. So it genuinely changes returners' lives. And it's just about giving them that opportunity. They're fantastic, amazing, skilled people. So it's just about giving them the opportunity.
Yeah,
they do the rest.
That's an amazing story. So inspirational. So what sort of on a day-to-day, but what sort of practical? How does it work? So if I were an engineer coming to you after a career break, how would the process work?
So a returner would register with us and then they would usually apply for a position. So we work with currently about 30 different organisations who are running different roles and returner programmes across the UK. So they would register, we would identify an opportunity. They would then interview with the host company. So the host company always chooses the returners to join their programme. We would provide them with a mentor and a coach. So we work on that confidence piece with them. And then they would go on to a placement with one of our host companies. And that is usually a 12-week placement where they get the work experience. But we always insist that the company has a permanent role available at the end. So if the returner is successful, they're retained in a permanent role. We're very careful to make sure that it is about returning people permanently. And so far, of all of those 592, 96% have got a job at the end. So
that's great. An amazing statistic. Yeah, brilliant. So what of the future? Do you have any exciting developments in the pipeline?
Yeah, so we're really trying to broaden the opportunities for returners because I've said we've returned 592, which is great, but we've got about 20,000 returners registered. And we did some work with the Government Equalities Hub last year that suggested there are 75,000 people who have left STEM and haven't yet returned. So we're always trying to increase those opportunities for returners.
That's brilliant, Natalie. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. And, you've got a fantastic organisation, really inspirational. So thank you.